Hey unit, wanted to come outside today, give you guys a quick there you go, update on the garden. Let you know what I'm working with this year. It's pretty late in the season from what I'm used to. We moved northern Michigan, and it's a lot colder up here. The season's a lot shorter. June 1st was when it was recommended to start your planting outside to alleviate the risk of frost. But we did start a lot of stuff inside this year. I made a couple shorts showing some of the starters, kale, tomatoes, and such. Here's some of the tomatoes I just stuck out in the yard because this is our son. I'm going to build a couple little boxes to go around there out of some cedar to hold that together, give it some mulch. These are cedars in cages that we put along the river to try to help with the erosion. There's another little guy. So we got a ton of peppers up here. Some tomatoes. These tomatoes up here are not doing good. They're just spindly. They look so much better on the when they were inside under the lights. But I think it's this compost that I got. This is all that was really available up here. It's got a lot of wood chips in it. Composted wood chips in the mix can leach nitrogen from the soil and rob it from the plants you're trying to grow. So I gotta do something about that. A little bit of fertilizer mix. But peppers seem to be doing okay, but my little cucumbers are not. These guys haven't done a lick of thing except yellow out since they've been in here. Soil's not too damp. Not sure what I did to these guys, but there's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them here. 11 of them here that aren't doing anything. But besides the cedar trees, we also planted these are lavenders and rose milkweed, purple coneflower, black-eyed Susan, bee balm. What else is in there? Bee balm. There's another one in here. Oh, butterfly weed. That's what it's called. Butterfly weed. So back there is my garden cage to protect it from the animals. Got a little bit going on here. See some strawberries trying to come out. They're happening. Mixed in with some thyme and this rose. Gotta move that guy. Some more thyme. Thyme's in flower. Some more stuff. Got some sage ready to do something there. Those are transplant. They've looked better. Oregano. Oregano's got some bug action going on. Can you see that? See that? That's no good. That is no good. I'll have to clean that out. No more strawberry. Oop. Some chives. There's the puppies. Did a little daylily transplant. That's a tough spot in the yard to grow. So, here, let's cut across the bridge. This is a peach tree. Planted last year. The deer have been nibbling on it, so It's had to struggle a little bit to survive, but it's doing all right. So you can't really see, but this, see if I can get it on the right angle. Oh, you can kind of see it now. It's a deer netting all the way around this thing. That's why I put up the carport cages so I could wrap it in deer netting and have a big old wide open room. So we have a bunch of onions. I think we got white onions and yellow onions. Man, look, this guy decided to jump right out of the ground there. Onions are super easy to plant. Boom, just stick them in the ground. Tip pointed up, you're good to go. Here's some onions that survived last year. Here's a whole row of kale all the way down, and I threw a tomato at the end. We had a lot of tomatoes this year. These tomatoes back here, which gets less sun, are actually doing better than the ones up in the front by the river. We've got these lines on them that I'll show you in a later video. We use clips and prune them and train them directly up these lines, and they're staked into the ground pretty deep because it gets pretty windy around here, and it gives them a solid structure to crawl up and train up, so that we don't have to get a whole bunch of cages and stuff, just some heavy duty paracord. These are potatoes. You kind of see them down in there popping through. I just put these in yesterday. Those will all start to grow leaves, and then as they grow out and around, you slowly cover them with more dirt, and the sprouts and leaves that you cover in the dirt then become roots and then start producing more potatoes under the dirt. And I guess you can get a whole lot of potatoes out of that. Those are purple potatoes, and I got another stack over here that are yellow Yukons. So we'll see what we can get out of there. Those are my, what are those? Green beans? These guys. There's some left over from last year, still on the thing, and you can crack them open, and it's hard to do one-handed, but yeah, it's a seed. It'll probably grow. It's pretty easy to save the seeds. Here's more pepper, more pepper, more pepper. Back here was going to be our cold garden, where we did lettuces and peas and beans and spinaches and carrots and a cold crop. Here's some white onions. Okay, what's up with yeah, what's up with these things popping out of the ground? That had to have been an animal of some sort. These, just planted these from seed yesterday. A whole bunch of carrots and a whole line of romaine lettuce. So these are going to take many days to pop out. Here is a tomato, 1 cage. These are the little cedar boxes I built out of some leftover planks. You can kind of see them way over there. Maybe. Leaning up against the shed. I have more. This is also rainbow carrots and another row of lettuce. These are little gems. I think that's what they're called. GEM. Little gem. But yeah, this is pretty much the garden. this year so far. We had like rows of corn last year. Didn't work out too well, but so here's some stack of cedar that I'm going to use for those boxes around the tomato cages out by the river. Try to get those done today. Yeah, so this is the garden. It's my beautiful lawn that needs mowed. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're hoping that all of these wildflowers, which are all native to Michigan, that we put along the water's edge or just up from the water's edge, acts as an erosion control along with these cedar trees we put there. The bee balm especially, that's this guy right here. This is in the mint family. Has a beautiful little flower. Hummingbirds love it, even though it's called bee balm. Hummingbirds especially love it, and just like mint, it grows like crazy. It grows those rhizomes sidewards in the soil, and then back up, and then sidewards, and then back up. And before you know it, it has infested the entire area, which is what we want to do. But also these little, this guy's right here. That's a rose milkweed. And some lavender, purple coneflower, one of my favorites, purple coneflower. Little spinner. Little pro tip, if you got geese that like to come up on your property from the river, apparently pinwheels, they don't like them. You gotta move them periodically so they're in different places, but they just don't like little spinny things. So far, it's worked pretty well. There's a couple families that swim by all the time, but they don't stop very much anymore. Which is a good thing, because they leave shit everywhere. Literal. Alright, some purple cones. These guys are looking good. Planted these a few days ago. Let's see if I can... These guys, though. That's black-eyed Susan. Really difficult to get going. They're so small and they're so sensitive. And these got a rogue tomato just stuck out there in the middle, having fun. Some more lavenders, cedars in the cages, another rogue tomato. So unlike this regular grass here, which is ryegrass, a little bit of Kentucky blue, these native flowers like the purple cone and the bee balm, well, not really the bee balm, but the purple cone and the black-eyed Susans and the milkweeds, and they have really deep root systems that will dig down and hopefully hold this shore bank together. You can kind of see. Let's see if I can step over here. Kind of see some erosion happening. Not exactly the best, but yeah. Here's just a bunch of stuff. Here's where I get the river in the spring comes all the way up, floods into the yard right here. So I added some soil and a whole bunch of plants. Hopefully that holds it together. We will see. Oh look, boom, blueberries. And I know, you're supposed to like not let them make blueberries when you first plant them because you want them to concentrate on their roots. But man, it does look so good. So, more cedar, more cedar, more cedar. So yeah. Tomato. Alright. Let's round back to the front of the house. We've got some flowers that we started last year, also from seed, but they came back again this year. This is a purple coneflower, which got a decent little crown shaping in there. This here is the bee balm. See how it's here and here and here and here and here. Nope. There and there and there and there and there and there and there. These are purple cone, purple cone, purple cone, purple cone. All of these are purple cone flowers. Purple cone, purple cone. Oh, a little bit of lavender. That's just bee balm, bee balm, bee balm, bee balm. But as you can tell, like, this is not the best spot for a garden. Those purple cone flowers should be way bushier, like. Oh, and that's a spirea with a little rose hanging out of it. So yeah, I'm gonna rebuild that, fix all of this, make that look good, rebuild all of that. My buddy gave me some stuff to do that with, but yeah, this is just no bueno. Here's a little rock collection. Poor little bunny. Oh no, somebody didn't like the bunny. Yeah, lots of rocks from all over Michigan. My wife's a rock collector. These guys gotta go. They're underneath a giant maple tree here that it's just, yeah, I gotta rebuild that too. That's ugly. But yeah, none of these do very well back here. A couple hostas, and I forget what these guys are called. But they're all supposed to flower, and there's not enough sunlight or anything back here for them to actually flower. Here's another project. All of these stones or concrete. It's like a rubber mold you buy, and it makes it look like a stepping stone, cobblestone path or something. They're just everywhere in this yard. Everywhere. And I already took a bunch out because they had it just piled up all over this poor tree. So look, here's more. I just pulled it all out of the ground here. They're sticking up all over the place. So I got to finish all that and free up these roots, because that's what you get right there when you start burying the root flare of a tree. You start getting new growth out the very bottom, which means it's just going to let go of the top and call that its new growth now. So I don't want it to let go of the top because there's a house right underneath it. Plant some grass. This is where my dogs like to come out every day and pee, so kills the grass every time. I got some of this wood chippy compost out here, spread it around. Do some grass seed. Another little shade area here. Got to figure out something to do with this. I want to do maybe ferns and or moss. I think that would be fun. My hose manifold. I got a little drip irrigation guy for individual spot watering. This one runs all the way out to the riverside. This one's very short. It's right here. And then this one runs all the way out to the cage in back to water that. So, more hostas. This whole thing of lily of the valley. Gotta get rid of some fencing for around the garden up front. When it gets bigger, them animals are gonna start coming in. So here's some scrap that my buddy gave me. They're not all exactly the same size, but it's probably enough to repair and replace those pieces next to the house up there. It's on the list. It's on the list. Here's some of my oak and maple collection and some root flares. I'm gonna get pretty artsy with these guys, with the root flares. But these are gonna be a couple picnic tables and other projects I have, because I have a lot of them. Here's where my giant pile of dirt was. That was 5 yards of this chippy compost. I don't know. It's a lot of shoveling. Here's some more root flares. Little chunk of cedar right there. Some float wood I'm gonna use for some wire tree designs as a footing for it. It should turn out pretty good. But yeah, here's some more. This actually has a mix of pine, red pine. This is a white pine too. These are red pines. These came from on site, my neighbor's property. Big tree. This tree almost fell on his house. It like snapped and was just leaning against another tree. He wasn't even in town. I had to call him up and say, hey man, you got some trouble happening. So he appreciated that. But yeah, these are all projects too. Some pretty cool root flare with the burl in it. This is all just a big burl of a root flare. I freaking love it. And this one also, lots of burl of a root flare in there. Love it. Freaking love it. Alright, well, that's the whole deal. There's the garden. That's what we're working with this year so far. It's going to be a lot of work involved, but it should be worth it. So, anyways, there you go. I hope y'all find this interesting. And then if you have any questions, go ahead, throw them down in the comment section. If you want to see more updates, go ahead and subscribe, like, give me a shout out. I'll give you guys a shout out. And yeah, have a good one. I'll see you soon. Blue Bird.